Hi everyone. In this video, we'll review the assignments for week 4. But before we do that, I think it's worth repeating a message I emailed you on Saturday, September 18th. Because some of you have contacted me regarding your participation on Discussion Forum 3, I'm going to extend the deadline to post and reply to appear until the end of the day on Tuesday, September 20th, so we can have a robust discussion of Wells's The War of the Worlds, Book 1. Now, because the deadline for Discussion Forum 3 has been moved to the 20th, I'll also extend the deadline for your main post on Discussion Forum number 4. Now your main post and reply will be due by the end of the day on Friday, September 23rd. Try to keep in mind that while I am giving you an extension on these forums, you will still need to finish the book by September 28th. Let's go to the schedule so we can take a look at this. So I went to All About English 231. I'm clicking on Tentative Schedule. So if we scroll down to September 28th, that takes us to week 5. So during this week, we will need to have finished reading The War of the Worlds. You'll also be examining different adaptations of The War of the Worlds and preparing to write your first essay for the course. So examining these different adaptations and being fully prepared to write your essay requires you to have complete knowledge of the novel. Also for the future, I advise buying RUR and Kindred, the other two novels, and play, I should say, for this course as soon as possible. If you buy your books from the QCC bookstore, the bookstore will not keep copies of these books indefinitely, so please purchase them right away. And also, keep track of the assignments and readings via the schedule here. By doing so, you'll be able to know in advance when you will need to have a copy of the book and what chapters or pages you will need to read by a certain date. So for instance, if we move down and take a look at week 7, during week 7, which begins October 10th, you will need to have read Carol Capek's play RUR Acts 1 and 2 by the 12th in order to participate on Discussion Forum number 6. And you will need to have finished the play by the 14th in order to complete the assignments that are due on that day. So by knowing all of this ahead of time, you can begin to read RUR before the assignments are due, which will make it easier for you to respond to the writing prompts of those assignments. In addition, in my weekly assignments reminders, I will notify you when we are getting closer to the Pseudo People module and our review of the play RUR. But again, I do recommend purchasing the books as soon as you can. Okay, so with all of that said, let's take a look at what we'll be doing for the upcoming week, week 4. So I'm going to head back to assignments. I'm going to scroll down to week 4. So the first item on the agenda is quiz number 4. So you'll watch the video Irony and you'll respond to the following questions. How would you define irony? What are the different types of irony? What type of irony does this passage exemplify? And then I give you a passage, an example. What type of irony does this passage exemplify? And I give you another passage to take a look at. And what would you say is the difference between irony and sarcasm? And this quiz is due by the end of the day on September 21st. Then we have Discussion Forum number 4. And again, your main post and reply to your peer are both due by the end of the day on September 23rd. The forum asks you to think about an epigraph, just as Wells begins his novel with an epigraph, a short quotation that suggests the novel's theme. He ends his tale with an epilogue. The epilogue is a section or speech at the end of a book or play that serves as a conclusion or comment, or as a comment on what has happened in the story. In the epilogue of The War of the Worlds, what does the narrator tell us about humanity's lesson from the invasion? What do people learn? How does their perspective of their place in the world and the universe change? How does their treatment of their fellow human beings change? In the end, would you say that the invasion is entirely destructive? Why or why not? And finally, how might this novel be relevant to us, a modern audience in the 21st century? What can we take away or learn from Wells's work? And finally, we have journal entry number 4. After reading The War of the Worlds, Book 2, think about this particular question. I don't want to read the question out loud just in case you haven't finished the novel yet. I don't want to spoil the ending for you. So this journal entry is due by the end of the day on September 23rd. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, please email me, or you can post your questions in the class questions forum, of course. Please stop by during my virtual office hour on Thursday. For this week only, the office hour will be from 2 to 3 p.m. That's it, everyone. Enjoy your week. Bye now.